Hi, Rosemarie. Welcome to Collision from Home. How are you doing?
I'm good, Casey. How are you?
Very, very good. So you are one of the most influential women in advertising, and brand building is your main thing. So right now, I just want to jump right into it and ask you some specific questions about branding and strategies during these very turbulent times. Um, we've seen a lot of brands attempting to connect with their consumers through marketing strategies. Do you think this has been effective overall?
My belief is that the most effective strategy, the most effective marketing is actually happens through action, not through doing. It is important, I think, to reach out and to empathize with people, to show them that you understand kind of where they are and how they're feeling. But I think it's also important that you quickly follow that through with actions that you as a company, as a business, as a brand are taking to kind of build on that empathy. Yeah. Personally, when COVID first happened, we saw lots of videos of empty streets in New York and California in the middle of the country, and then the kind of celebration at 7 p.m. when everyone's clapping to thank all of the workers who were kind of on the front lines. And a message of we're in this together. And that's a great message. And I think one that everyone can get behind. The question is, if we're in this together, what exactly are you doing to kind of help move everything and everyone forward, right? I think that, when the Black Lives Matter protests began, there were lots of, I think I counted actually 150 posts of solidarity with, like white lettering on black background, very moving, very compelling narratives about how much these companies were supporting Black people and the Black Lives Matters movement. But as I said, there were 150 of them. So it was really hard to sort one from another. I think what happened right after that is people were questioning exactly what are you doing then? If you're standing in solidarity, words are not enough. You need to do far more. Just before this happened, and Edelman came out with a trust barometer. So they look at the relationship between trusts and brands. And 65% of people in that survey said, they're going to basically vote with their wallet. They're going to support the brands that turn up well at this moment. That was pre the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think, in fact, I know that the tenor has moved from it would be nice for you to do something to you absolutely have to. And we're going to be holding you accountable for that.
So looking at both COVID and Black Lives Matter, what do you see as some of the similarities and differences in messaging at this time?
I think with COVID, the imperative was for brands to come up with some solutions to help people through those kind of difficult times, and also to make sure that they were taking care of their employees. So that was really the kind of focus and the lens I think that people were looking at these companies on and evaluating their performance on. With Black Lives Matter, the tenor changed completely, and it was much more about demanding not just some immediate action, but some systematic change, sustainable change, not just in their products and services, but their policies as companies. So I think one of the things that I saw their whole employee narrative play out even larger. The employees of the companies are holding their CEOs accountable, their leadership teams, their boards accountable for being part of the problem. They're saying either you're part of the solution and you're going to do some things right now, or you're going to be part of the problem. And so it's not just platitudes are not going to be enough. They want to see action. And if they're not, they are very vocal about talking about how disappointed they are.
I think we'd like to hear your insight onto some of the brands that are doing it well and some of them who are not doing it so well, just so we can have a, kind of compare.
So, I think when COVID first happened, Airbnb came out connecting COVID, collecting first responders with houses, places to stay as they were kind of navigating their way around the country and being there for people in need, which I thought was brilliant use of their platform and kind of fits with their whole belief system that, that kind of everywhere is home. Lego, this was, I thought, really, really kind of impressive. So Lego stopped promoting and advertising anything with a police character, any kind of their toys with police characters in them, which must have been a huge decision inside the company, right? Yeah. So they stopped doing that, and I think they're making a decision now about whether they want to kind of continue selling those toys. But the first step was to stop promoting them. They also donated $4 million to help educate Black children and all children on kind of anti-racist stuff. Again, it fits totally with who they are as a company and the business they're in. And Glossier gave, I think it was $500K to Black-owned beauty businesses. So again, putting that kind of money where their mouth is. And so those are some examples of people I think who are doing a really good job right now. People who are not doing such a good job. Okay, so first of all, I think, going back to the actions that you take matter. If you say one thing and you don't do anything, that's not so good. You're going to get called out for doing that. But if you say one thing and do another thing, if you're a hypocrite, then you're in big trouble. So, I think that the kind of reaction to Facebook, even though they've donated, they've had a beautiful statement, they donated a lot of money to racial justice. The fact that they didn't act on, or decided not to act on the looting, shooting post by Donald Trump, people are just don't think they actually are going to do anything, because they're not building it into their product. Like, you have to build the solution into your product, not just into your communications, or not even just voting with your wallet. And I think there's been a slew of CEOs who are now being held accountable for the fact that, they say one thing and do another. I think Anthropology, they've been called out because they came out in solidarity, and then it turned out they do a lot of racial profiling in their stores. They even have a name for the people they're profiling. And I think we're going to, you can see more and more of those stories as the weeks go on.
So then, by that, all that information, what kind of advice would you give to your clients or CEOs or people that are listening to this to continue to navigate this kind of changing landscape?
Yeah, I think be clear about what your role is. Make sure it's an authentic one, that it doesn't look opportunistic or that you're taking advantage of a news moment. Be clear about what your role is, and then be part of the solution. And I mean that in a kind of holistic way. So the way that I talk about it with my clients is you need to marry your purpose with action. So LinkedIn is one of our clients. Their purpose is to create economic opportunity for everyone. And one of the things they've done recently is they've opened the code to everyone. So taking it from their platform, open it up to everyone, so people can start to eliminate bias in resumes, etc. So they're really kind of taking that idea of everyone, economic opportunity for everyone, and putting it into action. So that, that's it. I think understand that this is not a job for marketing, but the whole company as a result of that. Make sure you have your own house in order, because you will get called on it if you don't. And that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. This has got to be long-term sustainable change, not a one-off action.
Yeah. I think a lot of startups are smaller organizations, so they're able to respond really quickly. But what do you think is the best? Should they wait and see what happens? Should they try to get their house in order properly before releasing any kind of statement about anything that's happening right now? What do you think is the best?
So I think again, first of all, they need to get clear about what change they're trying to see in the world, and it's got to be bigger than being the next startup that was sold for $1 billion, right? What is it that you're really trying to get done in the world? And then make sure that all the actions that fall out of that are aligned with it. When you make a statement, if you're not, you're on a journey. We're all on a journey, right? So just, again, have some concrete actions that you are going to take, and be clear about what those look like and how you're going to measure them and when. And then just keep communicating. I think waiting and not saying anything is dangerous. But if you're clear about who you are and what you're about, it's easy to say. I think it's easier for you to kind of focus on what you need to get done, and then point out how you're going to make it happen.
Great. Thank you very much, Rosemarie. That was very insightful, and I'm glad we had a chance to talk.
Thank you, Casey.
Okay, great. Well, you're watching Collision from Home.